Okay, let's go.
Five signs you are burnt out and not lazy. You feel disconnected from everything. You don't feel like yourself anymore. You don't feel engaged anymore, and you feel helpless. Almost like you're on autopilot watching life from outside of yourself. You used to be motivated. You used to be a go-getter, a high achiever, and you used to be self-motivated. Now, you feel exhausted, unmotivated, and almost apathetic. You used to be passionate. You may have been so incredibly passionate about something, and then suddenly you don't feel motivated to do it anymore. You may have even grown to hate it. Burnout robs enthusiasm, even for the things that you love to do. You've become moody and irritable. You snap at people, and you have outbursts, especially when you never used to. You've been neglecting your own self-care. That's because even the things that you know you should do, regardless of how good they are or even as little as they might be, even they seem exhausting to you. Burnout doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. Resetting yourself after a burnout can be a lengthy process, but by choosing to address it, you've already taken the first step. Breathe, do your best, and always go one day at a time.
Hi guys, so I'm going to do the last video on my last sin transgression for the Witches Black Lent Challenge, because like I said, I'm working on 4 of them, and I chose Sloth for that. Sloth being the equivalent to laziness, and I will try to go and find Taya Kennedy's video on Sloth and put it either in the comments or in the description box, because I think her concept with that was really great, and how it was equated, during the Puritan times, or equated, I shouldn't say that word, when it came to capitalism, but it was a really, really informative video. Again, I'm going to go back to the whole thing on labels that we put not just on ourselves, but on each other, and what others would consider to be lazy. How is lazy a positive? You cannot nurture yourself. You cannot nurture others unless you are nurturing yourself. You cannot take care of others unless you are taking proper care of yourself. And some would consider that to be not being selfless, putting other people before yourself. Some people will judge you for that, especially those of us that suffer from depression, especially seasonal depression, and how that affects us. Even if a mom is cooking a really simple mac and cheese and chicken dinner that's going to take her 20 minutes to cook, some would view her as being lazy because she's not taking 5 to 6 hours to make, or how a longer time to make a meal and make everything from scratch. Or with technology, some of the things that we use nowadays to make housework a lot easier. With these little robot vacuum cleaners that they have, that way you can get more accomplished in a day. If I can put up this little robot vacuum cleaner and let it sweep my floor while I wash the dishes, when it came to housewives back at the one time, they were expected to just basically do everything. But then, as people came out and invented all these things to make a job easier, A lot of people feel that with technology the way it is nowadays, I was having a conversation with a parent one time when my youngest was in high school about these. They don't even use textbooks really anymore. Everything's done on those little Chromebooks. And I said, well, gee, if we ever lost power and we ever had internet, these kids would just lose it, because schools don't teach cursive writing anymore, or a lot of the things that those of us that are older would know how to do. I always joke and say, if you really wanted to drive a teenager crazy, lock them in a room with an old rotary telephone, um, and one of those old school Nintendo game systems, and they would lose their minds because they've gotten too dependent upon technology. And technology can be a great thing, but I think as a society we've become too dependent on some technology. It's wintertime, and if I Google something versus going to the library and getting a book on it, um, not because buses are kind of expensive here in my area. Not to mention the fact that anywhere in town it takes like 2 buses to get anywhere in the town where I live, and that's time that I could be spent doing other things. With some of these newer witches who don't, or yeah, these newer witches who don't take that time to do research on an herb, or research a crystal, or research something, and just that to me is laziness, when you don't take that time to do that research. And there are a lot of them that just, hexing the fae in the moon. Just, just crazy stuff. I know that there are a lot of people that feel that people that are disabled, that they're lazy, and how a disabled person who's on, say, SSI, for example, is like some kind of leech off the government when you're on SSI and you barely make enough to even, provide the basics for yourself. Um, a lot of these single mothers, that have to basically hustle in order to get their kids food. If you're getting assistance, you're considered lazy. But yet, if you have, say, a two-parent household, and, um, in one aspect, if the mom is working, then, your kid's not getting raised right, and your kid isn't get. But yet, if a mom stays home while the kids, with the kids while the dad works, then she's being lazy. We're spending too much time having this whole concept of labels, and sometimes I wonder if we do that so that when we're not doing what we need to be doing, and if we label somebody else, it's like a means of feeling better about ourselves. I have I can't go and get the corrective shoes and things that I need, and I can't walk, 45 minutes to a store, go to the store and walk back. Does that make me lazy? When people don't know, or make assumptions, don't know about what health issues you have or what physical disabilities you have. So, well, that's kind of all I've got to say about that, guys, because it's been a day. So, peace, love, and light.